Jules.
Hi.
Hey, we are live, everyone. Hello, happy Thursday. And I know
Thursday.
I am pressing all the buttons, so we're live everywhere we're
I'm
supposed to
pressing
be.
buttons too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
I'm
these things that we
trying to
have
do
to
it
do
too.
now.
Yep.
It's like I can't keep it all together. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
We're
I just can't.
trying.
We're trying. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the live. Just making sure everything's working
Yay.
everywhere. And that's a
I
good
can
thing.
do our test the Facebook
Yeah,
thing. Isn't this
cool.
stunning content for everyone? I love how I keep completely disappearing too. Oh my God, you're so tiny. You have no
You're so
body.
tiny.
You
You're
completely
skinny.
the shoulder.
You're
Skinny legend.
skinny
Far
legends.
from.
Exactly.
Far
Yes.
from a skinny
Yeah.
legend.
Oh no. Skinny legends. Here we are. Don't worry, girl. So it's true. So if you're watching on the replay, guys, thanks for watching on the replay. If you're watching us live, hello. Thank you. I'm sure we'll be greeting people as the evening goes on. So yeah, thanks for being here. It's a Thursday night, which is Jupiter's day. So if you're trying to manifest some luck, talk to good old Jupiter. Hey. Yeah. And he's a big planet and he's a big god, and might as well go to him with the big stuff. So yeah, so I hope everybody's doing well. Jules, what's new in your life? Anything going on that is different than usual?
I'm coming up to see you, which is exciting. So I'll be up
I'm
there
excited
next week.
about this.
Yay.
Yes, hey! I am very excited about that. We are actually going to see one of my favorite drag queens, Monet Exchange, who I love. Oh, and Monet is an amazing drag queen. She's been on many RuPaul Drag Race. Well, she's been on 3, which is right 3. Yeah, season 10, 4, and 7. Yeah, and she's touring right now, so I'm excited to see her. And she's doing a one-woman show, and she sings opera, and she's funny. It's going to be a great show. So I'm excited about doing that.
So
Yeah,
I'm excited too.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna nerd out hard and bring my D20 Questing Queens fan.
I know. For those folks who don't know about D20, do you want to explain a little bit, Jules?
Oh, I'm probably the only one here who cares, but Dimension 20 is
That's
like
not
the
true.
show on Dropout, but they had a series and it's out now, where they're doing Dungeons and Drag Queens, where Jujubee and Alaska and Monet and Bob all play D&D together, and it's hilarious and I love it.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah.
and those drag queens are amazing. I've met Alaska. She was I was at her one of her shows, and
Made her laugh. You win everything.
I'm telling you. And then Bob, who I think is amazing also. Bob the drag queen. Super just funny and dry and just amazing. And then Jujubee, our girl from Malden. Love her from Malden. So I'm hoping to run into her at the 24-hour Walgreens. I really am.
Please.
Yes.
It would be great.
It'd be awesome. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, so what else is going on, Jules? I think we had an interesting topic tonight. And guys, this is my, second time using StreamYard, so I'm looking around to see what's happening. I'm sorry I don't seem to be focused on the page or focused on the camera, but here we are. So I know, Julie, we were talking about this past week because Jules and I get ready for the lives, and we were talking about how sometimes when we're talking to people, whether we're doing a reading or a Reiki session or whatever it is, we need to listen to the advice that we're giving to somebody else. Right.
Good at giving it to other people, and kind advice, good advice, not I'm good at reading people, but
no,
good at doing that. Bad for myself. Bad.
Yeah.
Real bad.
And I notice sometimes that I'll say something to somebody and I'll be like, oh, is that all I have to do? That's all. Oh, right. That's all I have to do too. Oh, and then I don't take my own advice. And then it comes up again and I'm like, oh,
damn it.
Yeah. So it's something. How much do you find that, Jules? I know when you do Reiki sessions, I think you said you run into that.
No. If the scale is never to fucking often, it's usually pretty high up there.
Well, listen,
So
I
a lot of the
think
times, and it's not like everything's for us,
mhm,
right? But sometimes
right,
you know when
right.
it's for you as well. And it's like, "Oh, yeah, that's
I
for me too."
I think you
Mhm.
feel it in your bones. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I think you feel it. I think you know, and it for me, it's like, "Oh, I really, like, have somehow managed to mess this up by not doing what I'm supposed to be doing." You know what I mean? But you don't really mess anything up, right? You just feel like you do. You don't
oh,
really
it's
mess
like a
things up.
blind spot, like, shows up or something, right? It's like you can
Yeah,
see it,
yeah, I have those. I have a bunch of
whether
blind
it's,
spots.
like,
Yeah.
figurative or not. Same, but yeah. Is it like when you, like, open your rolly blinds and it's like, "Oh, that's for me
Oh,
too."
oh, yeah, okay. It's true though, like, I think sometimes we don't I know I will speak for me. I don't always take the time to be quiet with the spirit world. So
I think anybody who knows us knows that neither of us do a great job with being quiet
we don't. We
or,
don't.
like,
With love.
meditating regularly.
No, I mean, we do, but
Just
not regular. I
yeah.
mean, I won't speak for you, but yeah, no, I regularly is a relative term. But but I think, like, if I just take the time and go, "Okay, they're talking to me about this. This is important. I should do something about it." My life would get a
Yeah.
heck of a lot easier, but
Yeah.
I think they take the time there because that's when we're listening, like, we're kind of involved in what we're doing and we're
Right.
paying attention, so then they're like, "Oh, good, let me just sprinkle this little one on you."
Oh, good. You're here.
Why? Yeah, oh,
Oh, you're distracted and
oh,
helping someone else? We're gonna help you
right,
too.
right.
Yeah.
Well, what the heck? But
Right.
part of this is also because I think, we're human beings, and so this sometimes as we're talking, Julie and I don't plan everything that we say, by the way, guys. Like we
Girl,
kind of
and just
kick around an
listen to
idea.
season 1 and
Yeah.
understand who we are.
You're killing me. Um, but I think also it's for us to reflect on the things that we know as humans. Like, so sometimes when we're
Yeah.
giving advice to somebody, the reason why it's the same is because we're connected, and there's a reason why that person is coming to us, or there's a reason why we're talking to that person, or there's hey Summer, I just saw Summer pop up. There's
Hey.
reasons why we do this, and
Right.
um I think we have to just really be aware that the giving that we're doing can also be a receiving.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
Right?
definitely. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the spirits are trying. The spirits are trying. We're trying. Spirits are trying,
Which we're trying.
you know? Yeah, which
Yeah.
we're trying.
They're trying and sometimes maybe don't be like me earlier today, and I told Mary and I got something and I was like, "Really? Are you sure?" Don't do
But
it. Just listen.
what did you I won't go into the details about it, but I said something to you like you really asked if you were like, are you sure? Because Julie
Yeah, and
had
I know
like a
part of
big
my
one talking to
problem
her.
right, and I
Yeah.
know part of it for me, though, is that I get and you were talking to me about this earlier today where I get like, "I don't know, am I how long have I been doing this?" And I'm like, "Am I making this up? Is this all in my head?" And I should know better by
It's
now.
not. No, it's not.
No.
Well, that's a big thing too. Like if you're trying to make that connection to the spirit world, then when it's not you, you have to like be like, okay, no, really,
Like,
that's not
trust it.
me. Trust it.
Right.
So here are a couple of ways it's
Ooh.
like spirit connecting and talking with you versus you.
Yes.
Um, and yes, Summer darling, you're always first, please, girl. Um, so one of the things is that the voice is more of a factual voice, or the information you get is more factual than emotional. So in other words, spirit isn't necessarily saying to you, wow, that was a bonehead move, unless you have a
Right.
specific guy that talks to you like that. Um,
Which can happen.
which can happen. Yeah. I have some feisty ones over there. But more of the time it's saying something like, did that help what you were trying to accomplish? Did that move you
Mhm.
forward? Like, do you
Mhm.
think maybe next time you can try something different? Like, it's not very judgmental, but it is very factual. When you get in the
Mhm.
place of, well, you're a bonehead. Oh, maybe you guys don't talk to yourselves like that. I do. Um, then yeah, it's not, it's you. It's you. Hi, Jess.
Right.
Jess popped in.
Oh,
Um,
hey.
yeah, and I love you too, Summer. But yeah, so that's the thing. One of them is like what's that voice? Is it a calmer, gentler voice? Is it one that's more supportive? Is it one that's, like I said, it's factual? Like, sometimes we don't like to admit we've made a choice that we don't necessarily think was good for us. It doesn't necessarily mean it's
Right.
a poor choice, but hi, Susan. But I still think it's you have to trust that you were guided to that choice, or
Yeah.
you learn something from that choice. The other thing with spirit is that it feels like it's a little bit outside of you, and this is the only way I can explain it. Like, it's not it is an intuition, but you feel like almost like it's like right here, like right outside your ear.
Yeah.
Where it's not you. Do you experience it like that, Jules?
For me, it's like over here. It's yeah. It's kind of like off to the side. It's really
Yeah,
interesting that you put it that way because and I guess because it's not like it's right here next to me. It
yeah,
feels like off, almost like off, like planar.
right, right, yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's like, it's like not exactly right there, you know?
right.
Yeah.
It's not
And I think
human.
too it can have a different quality of like tone depending. And I don't
Hmm.
hear as much as I get more like tingles and I just know
Tingles.
something, but every once in a while I get a big voice. So,
Yeah,
and usually they're like,
yeah,
no, or whatever
right.
it is.
Are you
But
are you sure? Yeah. Are you double thinking
mhm,
that? I think you should double think that. So
you should do
Jess
this.
said,
Yeah,
"You can do this instead. Don't do that."
right.
Summer said it's a different level, a different level kind of. I agree. It's like, I mean, it's not a human, it's not a human like whispering in your ear. It's different, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then Jesse wrote, "Oh, hey, I talked to myself as a full Jessica."
You just giving yourself the full name,
The full name. Yep. Or a
Jessica,
random thumbs down. Aw,
on his Zoom
no,
chat.
girl.
Oh,
On Zoom chat. No. No, no. So here's the thing, guys. So I can't see as well. So I have reading glasses. Isn't this cute?
but you
Yeah.
cute. It's
So
cute.
here we are. It's cute. Spirits get it. They understand. So I want to be able to read things
Mhm.
well. But yeah, that's I think that's another big point of it. Also, like you just mentioned, Julie, like you get tingles instead. So like you've established that connection with the spirit world through that. And I think
And
that's
like
a really
different. Sorry.
no, go, go, go. You're right.
No, but it's
What you
interesting. And the
what
more we've like
mhm,
tried to figure it out,
mhm.
like different sides mean different, like spirits are talking to me, like different
Yep.
places comfort. So I can get confirmation from multiple or, you know, and kind of telling where it is on my body, which I was like, this is nuts, but I'm trying to trust it.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Well,
I'm like the most skeptical, but like, no, yeah.
skeptical psychic. Yeah. Listen, there's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with that because sometimes you do have to question what you're getting. Like you have to be like, really? Is that really coming
Yeah.
from you? Where is that coming from? Because
That's me
sometimes our
all the
mind,
time.
our mind does get in the way. So
Yeah.
that's why we have to distinguish between like what's us and what's spirit. Because once we have that established, like I know right away you weren't getting like these tingles all of a sudden and in different places and different things. Like they started out
Yeah.
slow, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It took a while.
Yeah.
And the more I
Yeah.
like tried to like meditate with it or think about it or notice it and be like, oh, I got this.
Hmm.
I get
Yeah.
that too, Jesse. That's a lot like it.
Yeah.
It's like thoughts pop in.
Hmm.
Mine can be like they're
Yeah.
not as much of a picture. I just kind of know, like, oh, it's this. And
Yeah.
it feels different than when like I'm thinking about something. It's very like you were saying, it's kind of
Yeah.
detached, just very just like, here's the fact. Like here's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
I
it.
need to go do
And
this.
then
Oh, I'm supposed to do
mhm,
that. Right.
yeah. So
Yep.
the more that you get in tune with that and how they're communicating with you, and that will switch up sometimes, guys. Like sometimes you might feel
Mhm.
something different or hear something different. Um, you just have to be in tune to, it's the
Yeah.
same thing as usual. You have to be in tune to your intuition. You have to be in tune to how they're communicating with you. And that's just practice. And also
Yeah.
not wishing it away or talking it away. You can't do that. Um,
Who would do that?
Don't do it. Well, but I
Mm.
mean, the other piece of it is like what?
That was me. I did it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's they're talking to you, and here's the thing: our minds can't think of all the possibilities. our minds can't pull in all the ideas. Like we have certain conditioning, certain ways, for those of you who've studied psychology or whatever, like whatever this is called, but we have certain ways of thinking and conditioning, and all the stuff we bring in, all the filters we bring in ourselves. So
Yeah.
once we can distinguish, like, well, this isn't my mind getting involved, it's the spirits can show us the different things that could happen in good ways, you
Yeah.
know. So it's something to consider. And the other thing is that, listen, the spirit's not always going to be like rah rah sis boom ba. They might say, if you want that to happen, you have to make this move.
Yeah.
Who wants to do
Yeah.
that?
And then I start asking them why, and they're just like, "Just are you
Right.
gonna do it or not?" That's been
Yeah.
the whole thing lately.
Yeah. They're like, so
Intellectual, so okay, so that's right, and over intellectualizing it, like trying to
yeah.
understand everything, trying to have control over it just because maybe I feel like I don't have a lot of
Yeah.
control over a lot of things or whatever, but, like, there are different ways you can push it away instead of just like, "No." Just like, you think too hard about it, or maybe you just, don't trust it. I'm not trusting where this conversation is going for me at the moment, but here we are.
It was flowing wonderfully, Jules. Don't worry. I
Girl,
I, I agree.
I gotta
But
pull it together. I thought I was gonna do okay tonight.
you're doing great. Stop. You're doing
Oh,
great.
God.
Listen, this is live. We're live on the interwebs. Like, we're doing the best we can, which you're trying,
I'm
which we're
trying,
trying.
which I'm
Yeah, we're
trying.
trying. So again, it's a practice, it's a connection. It's like, think about the spirits as like a friend of yours. The more you speak with them, the more you spend time with them, the closer you get. So it's pretty much the same
Yeah.
thing. And you can even talk to them while you're driving. I mean, of course, the ultimate is if you're sitting and you're meditating. And bye, Summer. Oh, I thought you said later, babe. See, I need my glasses.
That's really off from that was that. That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Yep. Here they are. They're staying on, kids. They're staying on. So, um, and of course, and then to also show how old I am, I lost my train of thought.
That's just because 'cause we're
I'm
fire
thinking about,
sign energy.
well, yeah, and I'm also getting, like, so I lost my
Ooh.
train of thought. So I apologize, Summer. I'm glad you're not going anywhere. It was just me being blind. But the more so I was about to say, as a friend, like, the more you spend time with them, the more you get to know them, the more
Yeah.
you know their characteristics, the more that you understand
Right.
what they're trying to show you, because you've created this relationship and this language. So
Yep.
it's really important, like the intertubes of it, or the connections, or if some people believe in the silver cord kind of thing. Yeah, spirit is
Yeah.
distracting me, Jesse. That's true. They're having fun. They're having fun because they know it's not going to upset me if I lose my place in the middle of things. Um, but that's a big thing, guys, is to kind of know what the connection is. And I don't know if you run into this, Jules, but sometimes they say something to you and you're like, yeah, no, I'm not, I'm going to do that. Fine. I'll go do that. And then it doesn't exactly turn out the way you thought it was going to turn out.
Yeah. And
Okay.
that's okay.
Yep.
But like, oh, they're like, I feel like
Oh,
sometimes it's like, I mean, if I told you how it was all gonna go, you wouldn't go to in the first place.
right. And
Or it would be harder. Like it's how you step in, like how you tell like a little kid it's about time to go. We got like 10
right.
minutes. We got like
Yeah.
5 minutes. Just
Yeah. Let's do
transitioning into
this.
what's happening.
Let's
Right.
go.
Right.
Um, Also, I think we're not the only ones. So if we take the idea of, we have a spirit contract, right? And I know there's a lot of different talk about this, but I'll just say we come into people's lives to connect and to grow as human beings at the very minimum, right? We learn from each other. So, if they said to us, "Hey, why don't you think about this or that?" And we thought it would turn out differently than it did. Well, it may have
Yeah.
been that contract might have been for that other person, and we were just in play to help
Oh,
them
interesting.
understand it. Um,
Yeah.
or it could have just sucked. Could be that. But it also just could be like, they're not like trying to hurt you or not make something happen. I think they're trying to show you what needs to be built in order for the bigger things to happen, the energy that needs to be built. So, like, sometimes I talk to different people and I'll say, why don't you go ask about this at work or something from doing a reading?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, I can't do that. I can't. And I'm like, well, but if you don't ask, you're not going to know. So sometimes they're like
Right.
asking you to do things to like form you into more of the person that you need to be as time goes on. Because even though life is short, we're always growing and changing, doing different things, experiencing different things, meeting different people, seeing different people. Then sometimes
Yeah.
these experiences are to help us as we move through different people in our lives, different experiences, all that kind of stuff. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to be totally like toxic positivity, like rah rah all the time. But I think what works for me when I'm going through a hard time is I try to find like what's the purpose of it, what could be the purpose
Yeah.
of it, how could I understand it, what could I do differently in it, if there's something I want to do differently. So I try to like flip it, but sometimes I just need to say, well, all right, that didn't turn out the way I thought it was gonna, and I'm mad right now.
Well, yeah, because that's just like experience, right? And I think the difference
Right.
between that and toxic positivity is just like the toxic positivity is like you don't have any ownership in it. It'll be better. There's nothing you can do about
Right.
it. Kind of like everything
Mm,
will work out.
yeah.
And like there's a difference between like, okay, I've got this work to do and move through this time so that I'm learning something. So like it'll
Right.
develop and work out over time as opposed to like, it'll be fine or just dismissive of
Right.
like
Yeah.
any kind of like
No.
I lost my word, but, like, any kind of, like, just, like, self-ownership or, like,
Right.
even ownership just
Right.
of the
Right.
situation, especially if it has to do with other people. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
all that to say, I
Yeah.
don't think you were being toxic positivity.
Well, it's important to me because I know how sometimes like so I'll give you guys an example, and it's I don't like going to wakes and funeral. Who does? But I also one of the reasons is because I sometimes just don't know what to say. And I learned because you want to make someone feel better, but you can't make someone feel better in a
Yeah.
lot of those situations. So now I learned I really just say to people like, you know what, this absolutely sucks. Can I give you a hug? You
Yeah.
know, because there's when you fill in the gaps on some of those things, like when you say something that you're like, oh, this will make them feel better. Um, sometimes it doesn't, guys. Like I know someone once said to me, like with my dad, when my dad passed, like he's in a better place. And I'm like, you know what? I wish he was in a worse place. I wish he was here, but they're trying to
Right.
comfort,
Like, I miss
you know.
him. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I understand. Listen, I am also one of those people that's like, I get it because I say stupid things constantly. I'm a Sagittarius. I don't always have the right words. Um, so that one I learned though, I said, you know what, let's try to, if someone says something back to me, maybe I can say something else. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks. That's my opening. Like, I'm so sorry. It sucks. What can I do for you? If I can do something for them, I'll say, what can I do for you? So,
Yeah.
it's how do I want to be treated in that human experience too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So connect with your spirits. Sometimes I've even done this before. I've walked into different, I'll get off the funeral thing because that's not exactly pleasant. But if I'm walking into some place, like say I'm going to meet someone new, like a new friend, I am going to a new place. I'm going to experience a new place. I'm going to an event. I'm going to like anything like that. I'll sometimes like have a little chat and be like, okay, so I'm going, here's a good example. So I served the Billerica Spiritualist Church in December. And while I
Mhm.
was driving there, I was like, all right, Spirit, like I want to do a really good talk today. And I want to, be really clear with my
Yeah.
mediumship and this and that. So I kind of, whatever, manifesting, setting the stage, saying a prayer, giving affirmations, whatever it is. But I sort of, in
Yeah.
my mind, I call it setting the stage.
Mhm.
And I can tell you when I do that before I go into something, it doesn't have to be spiritual either. It's just something you're doing. Your mind sort of clicks into that space of like, oh, all right, we're going to do it. We're going to help this person do it this way, whether it's your subconscious, your spirit world, all that. Maybe they're all doing it together. But I find if I have that little like, this is going to go
Yeah.
just great before I go into things, it works out really well.
Helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
I,
that.
I, are you a well, this is high priestess. We hype, but how are you with
I
hyping yourself up, Jules?
Uh, great for other people,
Yeah, same.
mediocre for myself, mediocre to lacking for myself. So
It's
I think
yeah,
it's part too, like you were talking about a lot of the times when I'm doing that for other people, that's when I get like, okay, that's for you too. Like,
Right.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And we all have like best friend chats and stuff. So that's one in there. Like, I will be like talking a lot of trash about myself. And if Mary
Yeah.
says something about herself that's trash, I'm like, okay, no.
Yeah, I know.
So we're going to stop
Same.
this right now.
Yeah.
So let's change this up.
Right.
Actually, it's this, and this, and you're awesome.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, good for other
Which
people, mediocre for myself.
yeah,
But
I'm the
it's something
same.
I'm working on. I got this year for the new year, I did kind of a I can't remember the German word for it, but it was like a 12 wishes Yule. We both did this like
Oh, yeah.
wish
Yeah.
thing, and you had one left over. And part of like the one that was left over that I have to work on is like being kinder to myself and like talking well to myself. So I guess this was a good reminder.
Ah, look
So
at what you guys
hey,
doing. Hey.
right,
Yeah.
because hadn't
Oh,
been doing great with that lately. So,
no, no.
yeah,
And we're here to remind each other, right? As people, we're here
right.
to humans. Mine was stress management, guys. So you can imagine how that's going.
Look,
Yeah.
you're working on it.
I
It's a
am.
journey. It's a
It's a
year-long
journey.
journey.
It's a journey. What
It's
I
a
will
year-long
say,
journey.
it's a lifelong journey. But for me, I notice if I've been drawing more, and when I do that, that helps
Yeah.
my stress relief. So I can say that I have incorporated something to help stress management. Plus, my instructor Johan is just amazing. He's a great artist,
Oh,
guys.
he's
Johan Han,
amazing.
amazing. And I get to
Yeah.
work with him before he becomes even really super famous because he's already famous. But yeah, so that helps my stress a lot. And that may seem like not a stress management thing, but I can tell you when I started
Yeah.
draw and I put on like something about true crime because I got to watch what's going on there, and
Mhm.
and then I just get to drawing and I set a timer for myself, so I'll do like 20 minutes. So I'll get up and stretch because I need to stretch. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it works out really good. So stress management sometimes is not even something that you would usually think of. Like, I'm not like going into a yoga class necessarily. You know what I mean? Though
Yeah.
that is very much stress relief. But if I have like maybe 20 minutes at home between appointments, I may pull out the sketchbook and work on something. So I'm trying
Sidebar,
that.
speaking of that, no, I think that's great. Sidebar, speaking of that, I don't
Yeah.
know if it's going around, but everybody see the dude, maybe it's just my algorithm, who like make zines, but he made a funny little song about making a one-page zine. So I've decided that I'll send it to you.
You
But like,
should.
but because I like to sketch, I'm not great. My mom is like a really fantastic artist. My brother is like a very talented like illustrator and storyboard artist. My other brother is great at that. My dad and I couldn't draw for shit. But I like to doodle and stuff. So I'm going to start trying to do like one little 8-page. Look how cute she is. There's nothing in her yet.
Nice.
I made it last night at 11:45 or something ridiculous. But I was like, I'm gonna start trying to make a little sketchy thing. But I think there was a point other than you doing art. I think it was that like,
The stress
oh,
management.
like if there's something that you like, it's stress management, it's fun to do that. But also like if it's something you like to do and you're worried about other people seeing it or judging it or something, like you can find little ways to do it that maybe you can just keep for yourself and it doesn't have to be big and on display. And I think that's part of what I'm trying to do
Yeah.
this.
Well, yeah, you don't have to tell everybody about what you're doing, like as far as your stress management. It's your journey. Don't get stressed out by
Don't
your
I?
stress management
Don't
or telling
I?
someone about it.
Don't we have to log it all and post it everywhere?
Oh,
Do you remember when Instagram was just like all you did was post like your like workout, like
yeah.
I worked out? It's all accountability all the time. It's very
Yeah.
different now.
Very different. Place is different.
Anyway, I thought about that the other day. It's kind of like the if I didn't wear my watch, did those steps count? Did I walk
Right.
if my watch isn't on?
Right.
Did
It's
I
true.
go to dance class if it doesn't show up in my Fitbit later? Which it
Exactly.
does. I just like data too
But still.
much. But
Well,
anyway.
that's all right, but you're a data person. That's okay. We make it
Huh.
work. We just make it work. I will
Do
also
what we
say, oh yeah. Summer, who's here, does she affirms things. So if she's working on something, I've seen her like she's like, this is my affirmation. I'm affirming for it. And it may take some time, but she gets what she affirms for. Like it's really um Summer thinks very, very big, and I love that about her. So that's one of the things you guys should do if you are creating something or manifesting something. Make it make it big. Like, I'm a total hit at this event or whatever. Make it
Yeah.
big. Why not? You know? But she is someone that, and she doesn't, because I know affirmations sometimes like they don't love the name, but she's affirming for what it is. And
Interesting.
it's
Yeah,
really cool. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah. So, all right. I think we've been chatting for a while, Jules, and not that I know folks have been chatting along with us and stuff, but maybe we should pull some cards for some people.
We could do that. If you want
Yeah.
a card, type in "I'd like a card" or something
Yeah.
similar. Yeah. So, okay.
I
So we'll do
I
that. Oh, sorry.
thinking not I'm just reading what she's writing. I think of them as
Things
mantras. Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so because I like it, I don't know why. I like affirmations, it's okay, but I know some people they go, "Ugh, affirmations." Um, so if you don't like affirmations, use the mantras. If you don't like mantras, use you're affirming. Whatever is going to make it. Listen, don't get caught up. Don't be like me. Don't get caught up in like the name of it, how it has to be, all that. I'm not saying that instructions aren't important, but at the end of the day, if you're not going to do it because it's not easy for you, or you don't like it, then change it. At least get it done.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, hugs, Bettina. It's so good to
Oh,
see you.
nice. Thanks, Bettina.
Yeah, she wrote this nice, wonderful thing for us. We love you, girl. That was
Yeah,
very
that was
nice.
sweet.
Yeah.
All right, I got
So,
2 people so far.
okay. Hey,
So I
we'll
got
just
you.
start and we'll just
All
see.
right,
So
the
are we
first is
is
Summer.
summer. Okay. All right. So, Summer, I actually pulled 3 for you. I've got the Fool card upright and then Queen of Pentacles and the Devil reversed. And and then I've got the 8 of Cups here. So a woman with the crown on and the heavy head. I think there is some more thinking about the changes and the things you're affirming for. And so I would take that time to think about from your perspective. And I know we're talking about like you already do this, how you want things to look, but I really think you have to start from when you make a decision, a new decision, what steps start happening? Like, do you, reach out to people that you want to do your work at? Do you want to, like whatever it is, I think you need to start from step one, what it's going to look like. We need some more. I feel like the universe is trying to say we need a little more data from you on what exactly you're looking for. So think about that. Yeah, it's not that you're not specific, but we need a little more. That's what they keep saying. So from step one, what does it want to look like? The move is, if you're moving, the move is easy. If you're getting a new job, the interviews just line up beautifully. Things like that. So little more detail there. Okay. So I find my next steps to be easy and effortless, things like that. I also see I'm sorry, guys, I'm jumping around a little bit, is the affirmations don't work. Well, maybe they have to be fine tuned because, like I was saying, as Summer, I hope you don't mind me mentioning you and talking about your affirmations, but Summer's affirmations are big. Like they're really big. Like one of them is, I have more money than Elon Musk. I mean, like they're big. And I don't see why we can't say that because at one point there was someone that was the richest person in the world and it wasn't Elon Musk. So, it's really a fine tune them. If you're doing the affirmations, they don't feel like they're working, or you're doing, and I'm going to call them affirmations because that's the most common word. If you're doing them and if they're not working, then maybe they need to be switched up. So there's nothing wrong with
Hmm.
changing them. There's nothing
Mhm.
wrong with changing them because sometimes like your vibration changes and maybe you want more than, like just like, so say you're affirming for a relationship, right? You start off slow.
Yeah.
You say, I want, like to just meet someone and go out with them. And then you meet people and you go out with them and you're like, nope, that's not it. Okay. No, I want to meet the person that, I'm going to have a long-term relationship with, and I'm going to meet them, it's a little different because the universe knows what you want, but you have to speak what you want.
Mm.
You have to know that you can have those things. You have to know. See, I'm saying things now that I know is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You have to um say things that it's like you deserve them. So the universe is going to give them
Yeah.
to you. So that's just my thought there. Okay. So Summer, yeah, it's a little bit more. The mantra is like I said, from step one, because I feel like we're at the end and we need some more information. So consider that. All right. All right. Who do we have next, Jules? Are you
All right, next is Whitney over on Instagram.
Hey Whitney? Okay. Okay. So Whitney, I have the Chariot card upright, and then I have the Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles reversed, and I have the King of Cups reversed. My King of Cups also has a skeleton, because this is my skeleton deck, my Santa Muerte deck, and the King of Cups is drinking. He's like, dipping it back. And I would say, there are going to be situations that I think are going to be really wonderful for you. I think they're going to be like just very happy, healthy, joyful, things like that. But we got to get rid of the things, and I don't want to be like this, oh, new me, new year, new me stuff. But
Yeah.
I think it's finally time to let go of the dead weight. In your case, Whitney, I think it's finally time to let go of the dead weight. So the King of Cups doesn't necessarily mean a person, though it could. It's talking about those things that you don't like in people, that they're not acceptable anymore. So it's things like that, like, okay, the things that I feel like are not going to be healthy for me in my life, I need to get rid of them. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean a person, though it could be. This is more of like, I need to really clean up the space. So here's what the spirits are giving me. So you have a roommate. The roommate moved out, left all their stuff. You can't get anybody else to move in until you clean that room out. And I mean, clean it from top to bottom. It's not like you just throw a couple of things out and fine, it's going to be fine. It is clean it from top to bottom. So if there are really things that you need to move on from or leave behind you or whatever, this is the year to clean out that room. It's the room you keep the door closed that you don't like to look at. That's because once you do that, everything else, like it flows in. But it's like you can't get the new roommate in until you clean that room out of the old roommate. And again, take it as things, people, all the stuff.
Interesting.
So, all right.
Yeah. We see you, Susan, but first, before Susan, is Mish.
Mish. Okay.
Girl,
and did you
Mish.
see
on
Bettina?
Instagram?
Did you see Bettina?
Oh, I missed that Bettina one. So we'll do Bettina after Mish. I missed that. I'm sorry, friend.
All right. So Mish. All right, Mish. Summer, take care, honey. No, I'm reading that one right. Yes, so Summer said she'd catch the rest on replay. Guys, if you're watching on the replay, I meant to thank you earlier. Thank you so much for watching on the replay. We appreciate it because we always say good things through the whole show. Okay, so Mish, Five of Pentacles. I know I'm all over the place tonight. Knight of Swords and Eight of Cups. These are all reversed, Mish. Okay, so two things I'll say, Mish. One is that you are not stepping into the absolute positive royalty role model that you are. You may know that you are royalty, but you are not stepping into it and you're not showing it to people. Right now, that needs to happen because you have someone around you. This Knight of Swords. Now, Knight of Swords always reminded me of Charlie Sheen. If you guys know who Charlie Sheen is, if you're too young, bless you. But
bless
definitely,
you,
we love you. But definitely a bad boy. Like, you know what I mean? He's somebody that just doesn't have things under control. He's somebody that doesn't, is kind of selfish, doesn't think about other people. So I'm feeling like Mish that like, not that this person necessarily has control, but they definitely have more space than they deserve. And what I would say is whatever that needs to look like, whether you need to step them back, whether you need to, get them out of your mind somehow, like whatever that is. But I think they have too much space. And so now, if it's not a person, now I'm going to be honest, Mish, I think this is a person. But if there's anybody else out there that's listening to this message and you think this is going to resonate with you, well, I'll say this. It's self-destructive behavior. So if it's not a person that like immediately, like, oh, that person, I got to get them out of my head or out of my life or both, then it's a self-destructive behavior. You need to stop to take better care of yourself.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So consider that. I'm glad you caught us to Whitney. So I would say that's the thing to focus on, is to root that stuff out. But I actually think it's a person, and that person brings with them a lot of bad behavior. So it's goodbye. You know, if you're a queen, you
Block
don't,
and release.
right, block and release. If you're a queen or a king or royalty, whatever you would like to put the royal name of you on, yeah, no, it's they are moved on. They don't get to spend that. They don't get to hold court in your mind and your heart anymore.
Mhm.
So
Interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Nice. All right, next is between Bettina. Again,
Bettina.
apologies. I
Okay.
got so like wrapped up in that sweet message. I totally missed the part that was like, I'd like a card.
Yeah. No,
My
that's okay.
bad.
That's all right. All right, darling, Miss Bettina. Lovely Bettina. All right. So I have King of Cups upright, Knight of Swords upright, and Five of Pentacles upright. So now we're on the reverse here, Bettina. I got the
Ooh,
same cards after shuffling.
interesting.
And I'm going to pull an additional one for you. It's the Eight of Cups. So, oh, thanks, Mish.
Thank
So,
you.
Bettina, for you, I think, and I don't want you to throw something at me after I say this, but I really think we're coming into better times. And I know sometimes you're like, oh, I hear that, like the dog days are over, but are they really? But actually, I get for you, Bettina, there is some progress. So there was something that you were waiting on, or there was something you were trying to do. We finally hit some progress. I would say, right around the May time frame. So we're in mid-January, mid-February, March. Yeah, we started to see a little bit of like, ooh, things are getting better. But mid-March to May, you're going to see a lot of things change for the better. And then I think we might hit a stagnation a little bit there. But it's to make sure that what has changed can be maintained.
Ooh.
So yeah, so and it will absolutely be able to be maintained. I think part of this, what's coming up in this new year, is to make sure that nobody sways you from what decisions that you're making. I think sometimes people tend to do that. They tend to say, well, what about this and what about that? But Bettina, stuff in your gut, and I think that's what you need to follow this year. So just be careful of people trying to get involved where they really don't belong. And that's really more of what it's about. Like, it's not whether they're right or wrong, is they're sticking their nose in places they don't belong. Do we really want them to do that? So it's a little bit of really trusting yourself a bit more to follow through on these decisions and keep going. And whatever you decide, you're going to be fine. But I just want to make it easier on you, and to say to you, listen to yourself first.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's,
All right.
oh,
And then we got one more. We
Susan.
got Susan.
Yeah. All right. Dear Susan. I need to get purple ones of these. I happen to find these and I was like, oh, these are working, so I'll use them.
Dude, they're working.
Yeah. They're not as cute as my usual ones, but I'll get some cute ones.
Sassily academic.
Sassily academic. I love it. All right. So, Susan, I have Page of Swords reversed. I have Four of Cups reversed. I have Queen of Wands upright, and I have the Wheel of Fortune upright. So, okay, sitting in the bad times, almost like sitting in the water, feeling like you're going to drown. Like, so you're trying to doggy paddle, like kind of get your head above water. But you've taken some action now for that to happen. And I would say by the end of January, first week in February, so we're really coming up to this because this is the 15th, 16th. I feel like over the next couple of weeks, it's finally, you're feeling like you can breathe again. So I'm here to tell you just to hold on and wait, because victory is here. I just pulled the Chariot card, but there's a timing thing here. So I would, sometimes the less said, the better right now. So not to share a lot right now, and just kind of be, quiet, but, play the role for the next couple of weeks. And I think we're going to see a better thing happening for you, but you've got to keep I mean this with love. And again, as the sassy Sagittarius I am, you got to keep your mouth shut. You got to keep your mouth shut. Because I think it doesn't hurt things per se, but it does push some things back that could be happening if you just let it go. It's funny because sometimes we get in the way of things. we get in the way of the things that the spirits are doing, and it's human, and we do it, and it's not a criticism, but it's more of just like, let it happen. It's working. It's in process. Don't get in its way. Okay, that's the most important thing, because we do a really great job of getting in the way. I know I do.
That's not the truth. I know I do. I specifically got that "don't get in the way" message the other day.
Yeah,
You were there
yeah,
for it. So, yeah,
yeah,
it's a good one.
yeah. It's so it's again, not to be so simplified about it, but it's control what you can control, let go of what you can't, because all you're doing is worrying yourself when nothing can be done. At that point,
Yeah.
or that at night, like sometimes I'll think to myself, all right, it's 11:30, I should do, and I'm like, it's 11:30, I can leave this till tomorrow. There's nothing I can do about this right
Yeah.
now. I can stay
Yeah.
up all night worrying about it, or I can, try to sleep. So, you have to, if you can, let go of what you can't control, or at least put it aside for the night and give yourself a break. Because I know for me, I can worry like a champion. Yeah,
Same.
yeah, yeah. So,
Same.
maybe the worry just has to be put aside for the night. I call it taking your head off for the night and saying, all right, I'm going to trust that this is going to be okay. And tonight I'm just going to enjoy whatever is in front of me, or I'll enjoy a good
Yeah.
night's sleep, you know, and then knock
Yeah.
yourself out. Boom, out.
Make it
Yeah.
happen.
Make it happen. I love that, Mish. Like, it's an Olympic sport. Yeah. Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep. It's true. It's true. All right,
Well,
guys.
that's
Well,
everybody.
that's everybody. I think we should let everybody know how they can find us, what's
Oh,
going on, right?
that sounds like a good idea.
All right.
So you can email us at highpriestesshypeclub@gmail.com. You can find us on social media at YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all the places we are right now. Um, let's see, what else can they do? You can go to our website at
Mhm.
hypeclub.live. You can find Mary at her site, marydalba.com, and you can find me at julieatkinson.com. And, I just realized we were gonna pick a date for the live and we didn't do it before
Oh,
this, so we'll look at
yeah.
2 weeks-ish probably. Keep an
Yeah.
eye out.
So keep an eye out, guys, because yeah, it'll probably be the week of. I realized that too as we were like giving the information. I'm like, we don't have a date for next time. We were trying to do that. Huh? What is that? The 30th, maybe, possibly
Can you
somewhere in that
invoke?
area, guys. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So we're gonna talk about that too. We got some shows we're gonna record this weekend, guys. So we'll have some new episodes for you to be listening to. We're gonna be talking about color magic soon. So like how you can use color in your day-to-day life and be sneaky about it, you know. Um,
A
we're gonna talk about Bridget and Imbolc. We're gonna talk about, we have some really good shows lined up.
and
Some
your
more
February
astrology.
forecast? Mhm.
Yep, February
Yep.
forecast. So yeah, so we've got some information we want to bring out to you guys. If there's things that you want to hear on the show, or you even want to be on the show, reach out to us at highpriestesshypeclub@gmail.com. So have a great night, everybody. Thank you for coming. If you're watching on the replay again, thank you. We appreciate it. And always remember, you are magic. Thanks, guys. Good night, everyone.
Bye.